Okay, hello, everybody, all of my fellow faith-based believers out there in YouTube land and wherever you're happening to be catching me today. So I'm Janet Clark here, and I have a story that I want to share with you today that I think is pretty cool. Prepare to be amazed at the way that God works. And I would always say God does work in mysterious ways, right? We know that to be the case. And if you wouldn't mind, take a minute here, if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to the channel, as well as put a little like there. The reason we really want to do that is because we're creating a movement here of other mission driven, faith based people. And we definitely want the algorithms to push this up a little bit so that we can build this movement. And every little bit that you do does definitely help us. So let's talk a little bit about this shocking discovery. At least the way it hit me was pretty shocking. So imagine it's a normal, regular Tuesday morning, and I am at my desk and I am checking my emails when all of a sudden I look and I literally see this number on the screen that makes me do a double take. And the number is this right here. I'm going to show it to you. It's $102,508. Hopefully you can see that. And what is so amazing about that is that you might have thought or be wondering, did you win the lottery, right? Or did you land some kind of a huge client? And it wasn't either of those things. It wasn't a big sale. That money came from something that I had been doing on the side, almost something that I fell into, and I was doing it as an afterthought. It was a movement that I had been quietly supporting while I was running my main business. So let's back up a little bit. A little over a year ago, I joined a movement. And it was a movement of people who were focused on the American dream. They really wanted to put God back into the first place in our lives. And also, it was God, family, and freedom that they were really promoting, or faith, family, and freedom. I didn't get involved in it because of the money. I got involved in it because I believe in the American dream. And I'm a big believer, as many of you, that my values are faith, family, and freedom. And so it was in alignment with the way that I felt. And it was just something that was close to my heart and my soul. And so it started when I just said yes to a simple thing, which was switch where you buy a few of your everyday staple products. Stop buying them from the big box stores that are selling a bunch of toxic crap to us anyway, and switch to a US-based manufacturer that ships direct to the door. And I was like, okay, that's easy enough. I will do it. And then I was asked whether I would actually speak with some of the other people who had raised their hand and were interested in also getting involved in this movement. Because the person, the influencer who was promoting it, was getting such an influx of responses and positive feedback from people. And people were raising their hands and saying, yes, they wanted to get involved, but he didn't have the capacity to be able to handle all of that. So I said yes. And it was great. I was loving it because I was getting this opportunity to talk to people who were like-minded with me, who had this common, we both had this common bond because we had the same love for America, the American dream, faith, family, and freedom. So it was a lot of fun. Anyway, okay, so I get involved with it, and a month later, I get a check. And the check is for $4,470. And all I had done was spend a few hours a week talking to some like-minded people who were part of this movement. So that was pretty cool. Now, fast forward a little bit, I get to the 6-month mark, And I'm noticing that I'm getting some pretty decent monthly checks coming in, but again, it was on the side. So I would get the check and I would be like, well, that's pretty interesting. And I also got this notification that, oh, you're now eligible for this car bonus. Okay, great. That was really cool. So the end of the year rolls around and it's month 12, and bam, I'm looking at the screen and there it was. This thing pops up on my screen and it says, congratulations, the freedom shift, right? Your cumulative earnings are $102,508. And what was really cool about it is it wasn't just my income, but as you can see here, it says your personal enrollees, meaning people who I had actually helped to enroll into it, had earned $126,720. That means together we had generated close to $250,000. Again, through this little side thing that we were doing. You may be thinking, well, what's the catch with all of that, right? Like what did you have to do? Well, let me tell you what I didn't have to do. I didn't have to do any prospecting. I didn't have to do any cold calling. I didn't have to do any outreach to anybody. I didn't have to sell. I didn't have to use any kind of pushy sales tactics. I didn't have to invest in any kind of an inventory. I didn't have to also spend any kind of money for coaching or training or to get involved in that movement. It was all done just through this social media and through an influencer. And what happened as a result of that was monthly recurring revenue. This monthly recurring revenue that continued to grow as the movement grew. And more people signed up because everybody that came in, not only did they order the products once, they ordered them again the next month and then the next month and the next month, because there were so many products that people would have plenty of choice. And not only that, but they were things they were ordering somewhere else. Why order them from Walmart? Why order them from Amazon? Why get them at the grocery store, CVS, when you can get them direct to your door from the manufacturer and they're much higher quality? So that was the deal. Okay, so here's really, though, what I consider to be the real miracle about all of this, right? I didn't get involved in this for financial gain. I did it to support a cause. And it was this shopping that was actually fueling that mission. And little did I know at the time that God had a bigger plan for me, because at the time I was just running a business and doing my sales. And I thought that this was just going to continue on for as long as it continued on, and I was involved with that particular mission. But it was really God's way of preparing me for something bigger. So you know how it is with God, right? Things are happening. They can be ups, they can be downs sometimes. We're never really sure, like, why things are happening the way that they're happening. But when we look back, a lot of times we can see that golden thread. We can see what God was preparing us for. So in my case, I have been guided recently to retire from my business and to launch this new God-based movement, which is what I'm referring to as the MVP movement: mission, vision, and purpose. And it's a calling to now focus my work on God and sharing everything that I can about the scriptures and the teachings of Jesus and the way we're supposed to be living to discover our purpose and get closer to God and glorify God through our existence here on earth. And I'm being called now to do that personally, as well as to share that with other people and get them to, or invite them to join the movement so they can put God first in their life and kind of shift from focusing on making money to focusing on working for God. That side gig has now become the economic engine that is going to fund this MVP movement. And I am now gathering a group of people. I already have a core group, but we are expanding, and we want you, obviously, to come and join with us as well. But we're gathering a group of mission-driven people who want to stand up for Christian values, who want to teach the Gospels of Jesus and proclaim the scriptures and what we know to be the truth from the Bible. People who want to bring God back to the forefront of your life and your family's life and your community and the world in general, right? The country, that's so important. And people who really, truly do want to create a faith-based, simple business doing God's work, not just chasing after money. So I have a question for you. Are you ready to shift from working for money to working for God? Do you have that calling in your soul? Are you prepared to answer his call while building your financial freedom? Because you remember, we are told that God has designs for us to prosper. That's why we're here. And Jesus has said, you will have a peace beyond understanding. You will prosper, you'll have prosperity, and you will have purpose in your life if you follow Jesus, which is what we are doing here. And I recall these words that Isaiah said, I heard the voice of the Lord. Let me start that over again. I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And that is what I'm wondering. Are you feeling in your soul that longing to say, send me? Yes, here I am, Lord. Because if that is you, then please put the comment in the section below here that's hashtag send me. Just type it in there. I'll respond to you. Or go into the description for this video and click on the link for WIN, the Women's Impact Network, if you're a woman and you want to join us through that. Or you will find another link there where you can request to meet with me. Either way, whatever you have to do, just let me know that you are in. Send me. And I will make sure that you get the information about what this is all about and how you can join us. It's actually really simple. So you can be prepared for your purpose-based journey, your faith-filled life, serving God, and also leading you to prosper so that maybe you can retire if you're getting frustrated or sick of the system that you're working in, whether that system is the workplace as a job or whether it's a business that you've created and trapped yourself in. So if you are feeling any of those things, if you are feeling like you need more time in your life, things need to get repositioned, that's what we're going to be doing here. And we have a process to help you, to help us to build the movement. So when you come in, just like me, you're not going to be selling, you're not going to be out there doing a bunch of marketing. You're going to be inviting more people in to join our movement, and you're going to be working with people who are like-minded, just like you are. So this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't know whether you'll generate six figures in your first year, but what if you generated $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month? It doesn't matter where you start, it will build. And that's the beauty of this thing. And again, it's going to be different for every single person. But I know my sister who came and decided to join with me because she also believed in the movement, and she didn't have any other business acumen or whatever when she got involved. She made over $72,000. And it was the first time she had ever done anything other than have a salary job, a regular job. And she was fully retired at that point. But she wanted to generate that extra income to supplement her retirement. And most people need that right now. So whether you're retired, whether you want to retire, whether you are needing extra money because you're home with your kids or you're already not making enough money, it doesn't matter. Like, this will work for you. So if you're ready and this is resonating, and most importantly, if you're resonating with the message that yes, God is calling you, you do have a purpose for being here. That purpose is to share God's love with other people, and you want to come into this kind of a movement, and you want to start getting out there and sharing the love of God, the scriptures, the teachings of Jesus. There's so much going on in this movement, and you can be an instrumental part of it, or you can just plug in. It doesn't really matter. You may not even have that much of an interest in making money. Most people who I talk to do. But if you don't, you can just come and support us, help us with the funding part of it by switching where you spend your dollars. But you don't have to get involved in anything beyond that. But just come and be part of this movement, because the only way we're going to change the world, the only way we're going to bring God back into the forefront of our lives is by doing it as a group of people linking arms that are rising up with a new song, a new message. And the good news is basically what we're going to be sharing. So I want you, if you are somebody who's feeling called now by God, and you know that. I talk sometimes about the idea of having a calling. And I've spent so many years coaching and influencing and impacting so many people who were talking to me about the calling that they had to step into something new. A lot of times it was entrepreneurial. And I would say to people, a calling never goes away. You can pretend you don't hear it. You can pretend you don't want to deal with it. It's not the right time. Somebody else doesn't think you should do it right now. You can have all the excuses in the world, but it's not going to go away if it's a true calling from God. And so if you know that maybe it's been a while for you and you know that you need to get involved in some kind of a group, and you need to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and you need it to be something that focuses on God, and you want to be with like-minded people who are all faith-based followers of Jesus, come and join us in this MVP movement. It is really full of light. It's full of light, and you're going to love it. So I'm just going to sign off now. I'm going to send you all the blessings of God that I can possibly send to you. And I want to say to you, remember, if you are called, be the one who says, "Here I am, Lord. It is, I am ready. Send me." All right. So much for today. I will be back next week. Love to all. Prayers to all and blessings to you. Bye for now.